He's Rick Stroud, the Buccaneers reporter for the Tampa Bay Times, columnist who joins us on the program. Was that an official workout yesterday, Rick, by the Buccaneers?
No, it wasn't official, Dan. You know, the backstory of that is that it was Operation Shoeless Joe Jackson, as you know, is what we called it. And I met my reporter and photographer. We put on the black jumpsuits and ski masks and, you know, and then out of the palmettos came Tom Brady. Now, it was just a good old fashioned stakeout. I mean, it had been out there for a couple of weeks that they were working out at a local high school. It was just hard to get a vantage point, and so we knew when it was happening. And good for us, we got the pictures.
Is it legal? I mean, you're open. Florida's open for business, so this isn't an issue. Is this an issue with the NFL?
It doesn't seem to be, at least yesterday. I mean, here's the key, right? The state opened a little while ago, but if you listen to, I've known about it since before Mother's Day. And Cam Bright, who was interviewed by Alex Killorn on his doc one day, a lightning forward, said that he'd been working out with Brady for a couple of weeks. I mean, virtually. So who's to say, you know, how long this has gone on? But I can document one day. And as far as that goes, the state was open, so they're good with it.
What's the reaction to Brady working out?
Well, I mean, I don't think people are surprised, but, you know, we haven't seen the guy other than, you know, reading stories about him going in parks and getting kicked out and walking into people's houses. So first time we've actually seen him wearing a Buccaneers helmet, the old creamsicle non-contact jersey, and out there throwing to real Buccaneers players. So I think people expected this. And, you know, watching him work, you can see just how precise he is, you know, walking guys through routes, telling them exactly where he wants them to be. And it was a pretty well organized practice for about 2 hours.
No Gronk sighting yet?
Not in practice anyway. I mean, I know, you know, Gronk was in Florida. I think his mom lives in Fort Myers, but who's to say he could have been out there other days? This was not the first day. So we've not run across him just yet.
If I would have told you a year ago, you're going to be staking out of high school, Rick, and Tom Brady is going to be coming out in a Buccaneer helmet, you would have said what?
I just said, I'm done. That you know, they got rid of me because I was hallucinating. I mean, this just doesn't happen, Dan. We can't have nice things, and yet there he was, right? And so people are pretty fired up about it. I mean, this is a franchise that hasn't won or gotten in the playoffs in 12 years, 387 winning percentage, and yet he's going to try to do something that's hard. I mean, he's going to try to do something that Peyton Manning did in Denver. It's not easy, and he's got to learn a bunch of new teammates and a new offense. And I wouldn't get too ahead of ourselves because the New Orleans Saints are pretty good in this division.
Yeah, I'm just trying to handicap this. And of course, we've talked, and I said I'm all in on the Buccaneers. I was all in on them if Teddy Bridgewater went there. I thought they were going to be a playoff team. We know Brady can handle the pressure. I want to know about the other players on the team because now you're expected to do something. Not we hope you do something, we're expecting you. How different is that going to be for this young team?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really different. I mean, you know, when you have an iconic quarterback, there's just not many of these guys around, right? And so the standard changes, right? If these guys were going to get up and go to the beach with their girlfriends instead of working out, well, now they're not going to do that. I mean, they found out just in the walkthroughs that he's had with them in the practices that it's a different level. And you're on national TV 5 times. That's happened here never. And so, you know, I think that gets your attention as well. So they do have a good nucleus of football players. You know, this was a team that was 7-7 at one point. The quarterback, we know, threw a lot of games away. The defense got better. So they should have high expectations. They got the greatest quarterback of all time.
If Jameis Winston throws 30 touchdowns and he throws 8 interceptions, who's the quarterback for the Buccaneers this year?
Oh, we're not. I mean, I think it's Jameis Winston. I mean, I think you'd still, you know, consider Brady and Phillip Rivers and all those guys. But at that point, that's what you hope for when you signed him, right? He was the number 1 overall pick. They would have been in the playoffs, number 1. They may have won a couple playoff games. So I don't think we're having that conversation. He's certainly not in New Orleans right now playing for $1 million. I can tell you that.
I'll leave you with this, Rick. If this season doesn't start on time, they're talking about maybe those first 4 weeks now go to the back end of the schedule. I'm just curious about the availability of the Super Bowl hotel rooms and all of that. At that time, like at the end of February, early March, is that going to be any issue there in Tampa hosting the Super Bowl?
Well, it could be. I talked to Rob Higgins, who's the head of the Super Bowl committee, and they're focused on the February 7th date. But look, they've got alternative dates. The problem is you can't go to those hotels right now and say, hey, keep this weekend open and that weekend open. If they have to move the schedule back, they'll deal with it then. But I'm sure that they've got a lot of partners here with hotels and restaurants that'll do everything they can to make those rooms available, and they'll find a way to keep people fed and housed, I'm sure.
Are you going back to practice again with Brady, or is that just a one and done?
Well, from what I hear from the Bucks, it's a one and going someplace else. I guess we'll get the next locale as soon as we get the Shoeless Joe Jackson source that tells us where it's at. But yeah, they weren't too happy with that whole thing, but it was legal. Nobody was arrested.
All right. Thank you, Rick. That's Rick Stroud, covers the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times.